Okay, so we're going to be just briefly looking at exam technique for these rates of reaction questions, and you can see that you could enter this web address to access some of these questions, or scan the QR code with your iPad that's on the screen at the moment. And when you go to these questions, again, like the biology's revision videos, there's 3 sections. It might be worth looking at all of the sections to see the types of questions that come up and the topics that they're on. And this same set of questions will cover the videos for reversible reactions that are following on from these as well. So if we have a look at some exam questions, so for example here is a question about the required practical with the sodium thiosulfate going cloudy. Gives you a nice method. Okay, make sure you know your variables. Remember, you are changing and choosing to change the independent variable. For example, I am going to investigate the concentration of the sodium thiosulfate, and you measure the dependent variable to see what effect that has. So in this case, in this investigation, the independent variable, the one that the person doing the experiment wants to find out about, is the concentration, and the dependent variable will be you measuring how long, the time for the cross to no longer be visible. Again, very popular question. Here's from a higher tier paper, similar sort of question. And here's our other method for the required practical, where the amount of gas is collected and compared with time. So in this experiment here, you can see that the volume of gas is being measured. That's our dependent variable, and time for the reaction to progress. And so the independent variable here is the thing that is different between the 2 lines, the temperature, 20 degrees for this dotted line and 40 for the solid line. And you can see that the 40-degree line is steeper and therefore the reaction is faster, but both lines level out at the same point, and that tells us that only one of the factors, one of the reactants has changed. All right, if you change the temperature, the concentration of the acid and the surface area of the calcium carbonate and the mass of calcium carbonate, they've all stayed the same. Again, very similar question about these required practicals. Okay, a higher tier candidates towards the end here are some questions about reversible reactions. Watch the videos about reversible reactions first. Some of these are quite tricky, and this is where the hardest questions in the exam are likely to come, because this is higher tier only. Okay, so I suggest that you work through some of these reactions. Foundation tier students, you do need to know that there is a symbol that represents reversible reactions, but you're not going to be expected to be able to explain the effect of changing conditions on the equilibrium position. Mark scheme is in this tab here, and so you can check your answers as you go.